Hello everybody, Yannick Chauvin here from Yannick's Photo School on another video tutorial in Photoshop. This time I'm going to show you how to do a reflection from a white background. It's fairly simple to do. It can be done with objects, as you can see right now in front of you, or it can be done with people as well. Which can be pretty useful if you're doing stock photography and you want the illusion of a floor, a nice shiny floor. We can do that, and that's what I'll be showing you today. This is an example of a product that you can do, so you can use anything, a tennis ball, an apple, you name it. I use a stethoscope here, what we'll be doing is the same thing, but using a person. Let me minimize this, bring up my image. Now I'll be using this image quite frankly because it's on my post-processing list, so I'm killing two birds with one stone today, teaching you something and getting ahead in my post-processing for my stock photography. So moving right along, the first thing we need to do, as always, is duplicate our layer. Control J. The second layer appears. The next thing we need to do, if we're going to be doing a reflection, we need room to do that reflection on. So we're going to increase our canvas size. We do that by going into Image here in the top menu and clicking on Canvas Size. Now we want the canvas to expand downwards, so we're going to click on this arrow here, so it's going to expand downwards. For visualization for me, I'm better in pixels, so I'll select pixels. And you kind of want to double the actual length of your image right now. So my height is close to 3,000 pixels here, so I'll just go to 6,000. Just an easy number, and click Enter. And whoops, that's the thing that you can see. If I go full screen, it went to black because I didn't choose the right background. So let me just undo that. Do it again. Canvas size. Choose my color first. It's usually always white. I must have done an image with a black background not too long ago. And click back on the arrow. Get back to pixels. 6,000. Enter. There we go. Perfect. Now the next thing we want to do is duplicate our image here so that we can reflect it. We're going to use our selection tool here, which is the rectangular marquee tool. And as close as I can, make sure that your style is on normal and not fixed ratio like I was on. And just select your person or your object. And then we're going to copy that. We do that by either going into Edit Copy or Control C. And once we've copied that, we'll paste it. Just the same thing. You can do Edit Paste right here or Control V. And we have a paste object. You can see a third layer appeared up here. Now we want to flip that layer. What we do is we go into Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical. Boom. And our layer is flipped. Now we want to move this layer down. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint here. If you start moving it around and then it's not really aligned properly and you're not sure exactly when, you got to zoom in a lot. If you want to make sure that it's perfectly aligned, what you need to do is just hold the Shift key down while you move your object down, and that way it'll bring it down in a straight line. Alright? Now, this is fun for this picture. Since she's jumping in the air, we don't necessarily have to have it touching toe to toe. So we can make her jump as high or as low as we want. And since she's a businesswoman all dressed up, we want to make sure that she's not jumping too high. And that looks good to me. So there we go. We're starting to have a sort of a reflection going on. Now, of course, reflections are always a lot lighter than the original image because it's light refracting from a surface. So what we need to do is reduce the opacity on that layer. And we do that by clicking on the opacity slider here and reducing the opacity. I like to put it between 20 and 25% depending on the darkness or the lightness. And there we go. We're starting to have somewhat of a reflection here. Now another thing for the reflection to be more realistic is to add a gradient for the reflection to fade out. So let's do that. First thing we need to do, since we're working on a white background, is select white as our foreground color. Alright, next thing we need to go is select our gradient tool. Once that's selected, make sure up here in the panel that you've selected the second option, which is white to transparent. And that's what we'll be using. And make sure that the first icon here is selected, which is the default linear gradient. And once that's selected, we want to go back to our flipped layer. And wherever we want the gradient to start gradiating, if you want, I don't know if that's a word, you click, and then holding the Shift key, again, it'll do a straight line, and you let go, and voila. If you don't like it, you can always undo and redo it again. I like it the way it is right now. That's perfect for me. And we've got some excess white down there. All we need to do after that is to crop out the excess white, like so. And I have a finished image for my stock photo library. And that's how we do a reflection that looks pretty realistic, actually. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on creating a reflection on a white background, and stay tuned for more. Bye-bye.